Welcome to Fan Friday Talk Story, our ESPN digital feature here on the Facebook page and also on our websites. And today a great guest because you've all heard about the Hawaii Sports Hall of Fame. Well, one of the new members for the class of 2021 is inducted into this great Hall of Fame, and she's our guest today, former University of Hawaii women's volleyball player, most notably connected with one of the great teams in UH athletics history, that 1987 women's national championship team. And of course, I'm talking about the captain of that team, Tita Ahuna. And Tita, thanks for taking some time to be a part of Fan Friday Talk Story.
Thank you, Dave, for having me. Appreciate it.
You know, I don't know anything about Hall of Fames. I'm not in any Hall of Fame, but what is that process like? Like, how does it, like, did someone tell you, like, hey, Tita, I want to nominate you? Or did you just get a call and said, hey, you've been inducted? How did it kind of go?
Yeah, so the Sports Hall of Fame, I was called by one of the members, the board of directors, and said, congratulations.
Really?
But you do get nominated. And I was nominated by one of my former principals who I worked under at Kalakaua Middle School, Pat Dang. Yeah, so I found out throughout the process that that's what happened.
Well, congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
As well as Larry Price being inducted into the 2021 class in the Hawaii. Is there is something coming up? Like, I know pandemic kind of makes, having these kind of, what's coming up?
I don't like to make a big deal. I know it's a big deal, but I don't like to make a big deal about these kinds of things because when I look at volleyball, it's a team sport. I played with teammates who deserve the accolades as well. So, if anything, I would like to share it with all of them.
Do you still keep in touch, by the way, with those teammates from that 87 team?
Not really. We've grown our separate ways, but I know that they're just a phone call away.
Or a text away.
Text away. So, yeah, we try to keep in touch. Mahida and I try to keep in touch.
Here's a question, because I'm going to get into kind of your career resume, which is really quite long. But I just mentioned you're inducted into the Hall of Fame, but you have a very robust coaching resume as well. So I'm curious, what do people, when they kind of connect with you, either they haven't seen you in a while or first time they're meeting you, and then what gets asked of most? That 87 time playing for the national championship, or some of your coaching, accolades? You HPU two-time national champion, state championships for Kamehameha, now #1 with Punahou girls. What's kind of gets asked of you more commonly?
Well, first of all, they recognize who I am from the 1987 national championship team. But a lot of people ask me, where are you coaching now? Are you still coaching? So I get that a lot.
And you are still coaching. And how many years now coaching the girls Punahou?
This is my first year.
And you got them to #1. So that just kind of adds to
They got themselves to #1. I guided them, but they got themselves to #1. Yeah.
I'm going to get a little bit back to obviously your playing career, but as I touched on, your coaching career is really quite, I was very impressed. I mean, you coached initially with Kamehameha, coaching the boys, 2 state championships with them. You went to HPU, got 2 Division II national championships with them. Now you're back with high school coaching with the girls. They're ranked #1, getting ready to get into the state tournament and all that. But you obviously fell in love and became really good at coaching. Was that something after college you immediately wanted to get into? Someone kind of coerced you into it? How did that all start?
Whatever sport I played, I wanted to learn as much as I could about it. So I was always a student of the game. So volleyball, I didn't take up until I was, way like maybe 7th, 8th grade. Whereas I used to play basketball from when I could dribble the ball. I played football. I was a quarterback, but I really didn't get into volleyball until probably high school, when I started really enjoying playing the sport. I mean, I also enjoy playing basketball. I was a softball player as well. And I also high jumped in high school. So volleyball wasn't my absolute passion in high school. I just love playing sports in general. But I thought at some point that I needed to choose, and I chose volleyball to play in college.
What leaned you toward that sport?
I just felt that I was too small for basketball. Because in high school, right, 5'8", you're in the center. You're the center. You're the tallest girl on your team. You know, you get put in that position. I was just so blessed that I could jump, you know, so I could compete with the taller basketball athletes, you know, 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2". But I felt that volleyball would take me further.
Well, if you look at your UH time, obviously your great career at playing volleyball for University of Hawaii. Do you ever run into, I think at that time, Vince Gu was the women's basketball coach. You ever run into him and he kind of gives you some chiding saying, you know what, you could have been an All-American for me as well if you decide to stick with basketball.
Yeah, you know, my roommate, Lisa Mann, you know, wanted me to play basketball. Actually, I could have played basketball in college. I also could have played softball in college because the softball coach until today, when he sees me, he goes, Tita, I made a mistake. And I said, what mistake, coach? He goes, I should have gave you a softball scholarship. Then I would allow you to play volleyball.
Oh,
But Dave didn't allow me to play softball only because, and I get it, I only played volleyball 3 or 4 months out of the year, whereas everyone in the country was playing volleyball all year round. And I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed that time to catch up, to get better, to get a better volleyball IQ.
You know, those are some great years, obviously, at the University of Hawaii. And you also were inducted into the University of Hawaii Circle of Honor. You know, I know you're modest, but I just wanted to bring this out here, right? So you're in a small group of people that has won as a player a state championship and then collegiately as winning a national championship. So that's already a small group. Then the smaller group is those who have said they've won a national championship at the University of Hawaii. I mean, that's not like, you know, a lot of those that have done that. And then I think you're the only member of the group where you have won a state and national championship as a player and has won state and national championships on the collegiate level and high school level as a coach. You're the only one, right? If there's a meeting of that group, you'd be the only one hosting it and conducting the agenda, I believe.
You know, Dave, I don't even think about things like that. I haven't even, it's not even in my thought process, you know, to think about the accolades that I've received throughout my career. But, you know, I've had some great coaches who coach with me, my assistant coaches. I've had some excellent athletes. I've been supported throughout my career, you know, so it's easy to focus on volleyball when you have so much support.
Obviously, great leadership on your part. And that's one of the things, you know, from when you're a player as a coach, I mean, people always talked about your leadership ability, your leadership skills. So it almost seems like natural that you got into and became very successful in coaching. You also have a volleyball club. Do you still running that too?
I am not, because with my current position, it was really difficult with long hours that I work to give that 100% that I want to give every time. You know, I make a commitment to something, it's 100%. You know, if I cannot, I have to stop doing what I've done. So, yeah, I stopped doing Tava about maybe 3 years ago.
24/7 volleyball, it almost seems like. So when there's actually some gaps of free time here and there, what does Tita Ahuna do? Like to do, I don't have to worry about coaching. I don't worry about administrating. What fills those gaps?
My family. You know, I mean, it's super busy for me every single day, but when I have those times, I just like to spend it with my family. My son Kilohana is a 5th grader here at Punahou School. My daughter's a 8th grader here at Punahou School. And they have busy athletics, sports lives too. So when we do have that precious time, I like to spend it with them. I also like to relax. Put my feet up on the recliner and watch TV. And it's not even sports, just anything. The Alaska Bush people, whatever. You know, I like to watch sports. I mean, I just like to watch anything on TV.
Do you binge watch anything besides the Alaska Bush people?
I do. whatever my friends tell me, Tita, this is good on Netflix. This is trending on Netflix. I try to watch when I have time.
When did you get the nickname Tita?
Well, I have two brothers, so they call me Tita. Their sister, and yeah, I I've always had that name.
Oh,
I
so
can't
from the
remember when
earliest
I can't
days.
remember. Yeah, I've been. That's what I've been called.
When you finished your senior year at University of
Hmm.
Hawaii, and I've actually never asked another student athlete this. Athletes, do you get to keep anything? Like you finish your career, do you get to keep a jersey? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I did. I had, I have a jersey.
Your
I wish I
jersey.
kept more. Yeah, I wish I kept more of my jerseys, but no. I have a jersey. That's about it.
That's it.
I mean, we have sweatsuits that we wore, and practice T-shirts. I mean, those are all old already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a jersey.
Do any of your players know how good of a player you were?
I think their parents do. They
Yeah.
weren't born when I was playing, but no, I don't think so. I tell them some of my stories, but I don't like the focus to be about me. I like the focus to be about them and how they can improve their game.
I'll be maybe the 522nd person to ask you this, but do you have a good Dave Shoji story? An anecdote, a saying,
I
something.
have Dave. I have many. Um, so Dave walks into the training room one day, and I'm getting treatment, and he goes, "Come on, Tita, arm wrestle you." So I said, "Dave, you sure you want to arm wrestle me?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to arm wrestle you." So I go, we arm wrestle, I beat him, and then he tells us, "Everyone, get into the get into the gym now."
So he was all
Yeah,
ticked off.
he wanted to arm wrestle me.
Did he ever arm wrestle anybody else?
No, no. He
Okay.
only wanted to arm wrestle me, and he wanted to race me too. So we were on the track, spring training. We were doing sprints, and he said, and we didn't have enough. So he said, "Oh, I'll race against Tita." So I said, "Okay, that's fine." So after we're done working out, Dave was spent. So he sat on the turf, and we all went to go shower. And I came out to play intramural softball. And guess who was still sitting on the turf? Dave
Oh,
Soji.
passed
He
out.
couldn't move.
And he was a young guy back then in the 80s. I think
And he was in top shape.
yeah.
He's in
Wow.
top shape, that guy. Yeah. But sprinting is a whole lot different from jogging or, those are good
Yeah.
fun times.
You have, because you are still so much involved in the sport of volleyball, people like to ask you, I'm sure, the changes in the game, what you've seen, what you like, what you don't like as the game has changed. And I look at two things that have changed in the sport of volleyball, which is the addition of the position of libero and the rally scoring. When those first came out, what was your reaction? And then now, after it's been several years, kind of.
Dave, it's tough when I first started because I played and I coached under a different system. No libero, play to 15, and you have to side out to score. So it was a huge learning curve. But once you figure it out, it's all about strategy after that, which I love to do.
Yeah, no, great success. It's been everywhere you've been. I talked I mentioned here about some of the accolades and honors you've had, national championship. You've also been named and AVCA National D2 Coach of the Year. Obviously, two-time national champion for collegiately at HPU. If I notice you're in your office, right? So
Mhm.
if someone walks into your office, is there one of those awards that they would see?
I have none.
Except your family pictures. So that's
The only award, I don't even have it hanging up on my wall at home. I come from humble beginnings, and that's just how it is.
what did you get as a player as a national champion? Like, do you get a medal or something? I know there's that big
Uh,
trophy.
yeah, we got a trophy, and then the school gave us rings, and we decided we didn't want the Justin ring. We wanted a Hawaiian ring. Yeah, so we got Hawaiian rings with NCAA champions on them.
Where's that ring now? Is it in a?
Oh, it's at home. It's in safekeeping.
Oh, good, 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 good.
It's small right now. So it doesn't fit any of my fingers, but I still have them.
What's the best part about coaching high school?
Just seeing your athletes grow, become young adults who serve the community well, and seeing them have their own children, and then call you up and go, Coach, I have to coach my daughter now. Can you give me some tips? I said, you see, you should have paid attention. Yeah, just seeing them grow into just successful adults makes me super happy.
When you first got the job as a athletics director at Punahou, and you became the coach of the girls, but when you first got the job at Punahou, being a Kamehameha alum and knowing how high schools are very important here in Hawaii, you got any heat from that, or was it just?
It's so funny, Dave, that you say that, because I was just talking about that. You know, when we first meet someone in Hawaii, we say, "Hey, what's go to?" Right? Yes, I did get heat. I still get heat for wearing the winged O. But what happened was my daughter got into Punahou. So of course she tried out for Kamehameha. She did not get in. Then she applied for Punahou and she got in. So I'm like, what do I do? Sign the papers. Just sign the papers and we'll send her. Never looked back. Wonderful, wonderful institution. So wonderful that I applied my son and he got in as well. So I never looked back. It's because my kids are here. You know, we have to do what's best for our children.
Yeah, well, hey, that's a addition, good one for Punahou. Unfortunate loss for Kamehameha. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm still with Kamehameha, but my heart is still there. But you know,
we're gonna close with this. My guests of Fan Friday, I always have them. We play a game. Okay, it's questions.
Oh no.
No, it's real easy. It's questions I ask, and you got to answer at the top of your head. So it's a quick game.
Okay.
This is called quick sets. Since this is your volleyball.
All right. So one set. I can do this.
Yeah, there you go. The one set. I like that. I'll use that name next time. Okay, so you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. The quick one set with Tita Ahuna. Most memorable game as a player.
Beating UOP at Clum Gym.
Perfect answer, because that's another question that's coming up. Most memorable game as a coach.
I have a lot, but I think it would be winning my first national championship with HPU.
Which social media platform do you have the least knowledge in?
Oh, because I don't do social media.
You were an outside hitter, right, at University of Hawaii?
I started as a setter.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh.
But most people don't know that. But myself and Mahina started as setters.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to adjust this
and
question.
Dave said, I don't know about this girl. She better go hit outside. No, yeah. So I started as a setter, and I really wasn't a setter in high school. But my coach, Kuipo Lam, and Winston Lam, who were my high school coaches, who, by the way, still coached with me at Tava until I closed. So hats off to Winston and Kuipo Lam, but both of them thought that I would be more effective as a setter. So my senior year, they made me set. Sure enough, you know, I got recruited, and Dave knew I could set. I did that as well as hit outside, and then I moved. When Martina Sitzerova came in, and Tita, you're out.
Well, see, my question would have been because you're an outside hitter, if Coach Shoji said, oh, we got enough outside hitters, you got to either play setter, libero, or middle. I'm going to take setter out because that would be the next choice. If you had to be either a libero or a middle, which one would you have chosen?
I think a libero, because I think if you look at stats, up until maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 3, whatever, I was in the top category for digs. Most digs, and I wasn't even a libero. So people started telling me, well, Tita, because I don't really pay attention to those things, but they start telling me, Tita, this girl just beat you, just went ahead of you for the most digs. And I'm like, what position does she play? Libero? I said, go figure. I played 3 positions in the back row. They play 6. More power to them. They have to. You know, I should be out of that stat. Yeah, I probably would be a libero.
Which makes that stat for you more remarkable in the era of no liberos, that you had so many digs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Put an asterisk by all those other guys that played libero. It's like, hey, that's all they did, right? You know, so.
It's like aluminum bat versus a wooden bat, you know, and how
Right.
many home runs.
Exactly, exactly. All right, next one. Do you prefer email or texting?
I like email.
And who is more intense? And I alluded to your previous answer. Coach Tita Ahuna before your Punahou team will play Kamehameha, or player Tita Ahuna before Hawaii plays Pacific?
I think the player. Because as a coach, I have to be really calm. I have to have a certain demeanor, or else, you know, I might throw off my players, you know. I can be intense when I need to be, but I have to have a certain kind of demeanor with my athletes. So, yeah.
Right.
But a player, super intense.
Gotcha, gotcha. What's the music you listen to on your drive home?
I like Hawaiian music. I only listen to Hawaiian music.
All right. And what is a food item that you could eat for 5 days straight?
Japanese. I love Japanese hot pots.
Ooh.
I love Japanese. Anything Japanese I can eat every day.
Ooh, wow. No, that's good.
Yeah, I'm not Japanese, but I think in my previous life I might have been Japanese.
Hey, that's good stuff. I love it too.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yep. And the last one, what is a Dave Shoji quote or common saying?
Oh, what is a Dave Shoji quote? Dave, do you know how long I've been out of UH volleyball?
I know.
Telling me to remind. What did Dave always tell us?
You want to arm wrestle? No.
No. I can't remember that far back. To be honest, I just really listened to when he taught us, and it, you know, absorbed the knowledge. That's why I could teach, because whatever coach I had, they always had an influence in me, and I've always been a student of the game. So I took in the knowledge and really, you know, made sure that I understood what they were teaching, and always be able to teach someone else. You know, that's how I keep the knowledge. To teach someone else, you get better at it. Yeah.
Definitely want to say congratulations, first of all, for getting inducted into the Hawaii Sports Hall of Fame. Your great coaching and playing career. Good luck to you and the girls team as they move progressively forward here in the ILH and the state tournament. And thanks for taking the time to be part of this Fan Friday and Talk Story. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dave.